Calculators can be a supportive teaching tool that enhances students' conceptual understandings in mathematics. Teaching students how and when to use calculators is crucial because it provides students with the opportunity to explore and enrich their mathematical learning. Studies completed in the mid-1980s by Hembry and Desart concluded that there is an overall positive outcome with the use of calculators in kindergarten through grade 12 education. Research by Ellington and Erdős demonstrates that calculators have a role in decreasing anxiety, improving attitudes, and improving performance of students. Fuse et al. Examined the use of a calculator as an accommodation for 4th and 5th grade students with learning disabilities on curriculum-based measurements. They found that students with learning disabilities benefited more than their peers without disabilities when using a calculator on problem-solving curriculum-based measurements. Shalfdell, Belton-Cocker, Glassnap, and Poggio also studied the impact of calculators as an accommodation for students with and without disabilities. They found the use of a calculator benefited students with disabilities and concluded that calculators were an appropriate accommodation for students with disabilities. Overall, researchers believe that an appropriate use of calculators has a role in student learning. Students with learning disabilities might have difficulty with any number of tasks related to numeracy and math competency, such as acquiring competence and confidence in number concepts, understanding the number systems, symbols, and operations, recalling basic facts and formulas, reading and understanding instructions and word problems, and organizing the steps required for problem solving. There are a variety of ways teachers can introduce the use of calculators in the classroom. Graphing calculators can support students with fine motor difficulties and can support students in visualizing mathematical concepts. Talking calculators assist students with dyslexia or dyscalculia. The voice output provides feedback to the students that can assist them in identifying errors. Hearing the calculator answer can decrease any commonly reversed numbers that students with dyslexia or dyscalculia can experience when reading. Talking calculators can also assist students who are blind or visually impaired to actively participate during math class when completing operations. Electronic calculators can help typically developing students develop number sense by reinforcing concepts about place value, relationships between operations, as well as estimation. In the classroom, calculators allow students more time to focus on problem-solving techniques. They provide an increased motivation towards studying mathematics. They're an accommodation for some students with disabilities and can provide teachers greater insights into students' true mathematical knowledge. Also, students waste less time on basic facts mistakes.
Calculators need to be offered to anyone if they need it. I think that, again, there's a time and place, so it depends on what you're assessing. So if you're assessing computation skills, then that would be a time where you wouldn't offer a calculator. But at any other time, if students need that calculator, then they should have access to it. In real life, we have access to it. We have cell phones that have calculators on them. When we're in a store, we need to know how to estimate, and we need to know how to use a calculator effectively. In real life, that's a lot of the math that normal people do on an everyday basis. So we have to equip kids with the skills to use it effectively, to be able to estimate, to know if it makes sense. But those are the basic skills we need to teach so that we give students access not only to math in the classroom, but math in real life so that they can use it to better their life.
Using calculators in the classroom can also support a variety of students with learning disabilities, including those with problems in mental, auditory, and fine motor processing. If students have trouble interpreting what they see, they may misunderstand the answer on the calculator screen or in an example problem that a teacher works on the board. Auditory processing problems could lead to students not understanding the oral explanation for calculator use or specific procedures. Motor processing problems make it difficult for students to copy work and show all of their work when completing problems by using the calculator. For students with Down syndrome, depending on IQ and other cognitive abilities, students may have difficulties with counting, tallying, measuring, or tracking. Calculators also can be offered to students with low reading, writing skills. or students with dyscalculia, whose learning disabilities affect their math skills. The voice output, as previously stated, of a talking calculator provides feedback to the user that helps them identify any input errors. You can also teach your students how to use calculators through many various games. It's important to decide when to use a calculator in the classroom. When students are practicing computation skills, using a calculator may not make sense. When students are engaging in higher order thinking, exploring patterns, conducting investigations, and working with real-world data, using calculators makes sense. However, it's important to note that students should learn to understand the concepts of operations first, with manipulative and hands-on problem solving before relying on the calculator to provide the answers.